the Hall of Fame now wants to honor a true partner in progress who built a career and a reputation starting with his hands and a spirit of giving that is still shining bright. Joe Coar, who learned carpentry from his father, is someone whom colleagues say is equally comfortable in a union hall or a corporate boardroom. He began his career with Tonn and Blank Construction in 1967 as a carpenter apprentice in the company's wood shop. For 25 years, he served as vice president of operations before retiring at the end of 2014. But today, we are honoring Joe for more than just his business accomplishments. We are honoring his outstanding achievements in public service with our Partners in Progress Award. For decades, he has worked tirelessly to pitch the importance of the building trades to school systems in Northwest Indiana and has demonstrated how vocational career centers can be integrated into these systems. He has successfully convinced many that the building trades can and will provide a clear path to a successful, fulfilling life. A number of boards Joe has served on reflect this passion, including the Construction Advancement Foundation, Ready Northwest Indiana Workforce Development, and the Northwest Indiana Business Roundtable, to name a few. For Joe, community involvement has always been both a corporate and personal value. Perhaps one of my favorite quotes from Joe goes like this: "What started out as good business ends up being a lifetime of joy and satisfaction in learning how we can all make a difference in our communities by serving." Joe, on behalf of our communities, we thank you for your service, for you have made a difference. Please join me in honoring Joe Coar, our partner in progress for 2015.
I'd like to thank the Times, Chris White, the Selection Board for the Business Industry Hall of Fame. And I also like to thank all the past and present folks here that's got honored into the induction into the Hall of Fame for the Times. I also like to tell you this is quite an honor for a guy like me to stand up here and get. It's very special and really, really appreciated by all. A lot of people I need to thank here today for 48 years of service in the company, and I'm going to try to go through this rather quickly for you. None of this would be successful, these long Saturdays, long Sundays, nights, things that we all have to do in this room here. I see many of us out there as you network with different opportunities and different functions. None of it would be permissible for me if it wasn't for my wife, Betty, who really stands behind me in every effort. Today, I'm very fortunate to have my son with me, son Joe. I'd like to introduce my table, if you don't mind. Chuck Oberle, former mayor of Michigan City. Sister Jane Marie from Franciscan Alliance, who Betty and I have both become very personal friends over the years, both in business. And quite honestly, Betty and I consider you family. And I know you do the same. Those are the kind of relationships that we have built over the years. President of Tonn and Blank, John Gilmore. Steve McGill, our business development guy, who I try to track and help out in the Northwest. John has been quite an accomplishment over these years working for Tonn and Blank. I've enjoyed every bit of it. I can tell you John is going to take our company to the next level. After I retired in 2014, John was smart enough to make me a consultant on January the 2nd of 2015. I'm here to tell you that the normal 40-hour week, someone said earlier, 40 hours. There's no such thing as 40 hours. As a consultant, I'm putting in 60, 70 hours a week. And I'm not complaining about that. I am a true workaholic. I'm a guy that believes that you got to get out there and earn what you want to get in life. So I got a couple things I want to share with you that were success stories over the year. One is, this makes it really nice because this month of April is a Child Abuse Prevention Month. One of the things that our company did over the years, over 26 years ago, we had our 25th anniversary last year, we developed Dunebrook Child Abuse Center in LaPorte County. 25 years ago, we were approached to help put a home together and turn it into a child abuse center by some local folks in Michigan City. We done that under the presidency of Bill Mueller at the time, who currently is the chairman of the board of Tonn and Blank. And about 15 years after that was put together, John was approached at one of the mayor's functions to help again, and we did. And when we done that, we took a 1,800 square foot home, built a new building, roughly 14,000 square feet right over top of the home, and took the home down manually, piece by piece, so we would not interrupt the operations of the Dunebrook Child Abuse Center. When we did that, they had at least 3, maybe 4 people to a room that was 12 by 12. Now today they have a state-of-the-art facility that houses over 50 people. The heartfelt thing that you feel when you donate time and you do things of that nature is we had 11,000 donated man-hours in that facility. 5,000 building trades people donated their time. 5,000 lay people came in and donated their time. It would not be unusual to see presidents like John Gilmore, Joe Coar, and other people out there working at night, Saturdays and Sundays. We did this for a year. And the success behind all this was that this building was going to be relatively expensive for Dunebrook to be able to afford. But we convinced them if they would go with us and we would manage it at a very, very low fee, and we could get the donations that we needed to get, we could probably give them that building for a lot less than what we had originally told them. And we did that. We accomplished that, and that building became a reality. The success of all that is, and the heartfelt thing that you feel when you go into that building, and they're doing a forensic interview of a child or a mother, and you see these signs that says, "Quiet, please." When you walk inside, you realize as a person that donates his efforts to try to help a good cause that you've done the right thing. And those people inside that building are the ones that actually make that a success. Well, that's the Dunebrook story. Now, none of that would have happened without all the support of individuals that work for our company and people that we know in our community, some which are in this room today, if we had not have done that. The other story I'd like to share with you, career path alignment. I've been an advocate, as a lot of you know, sitting in this room for many, many years now. And I mainly started out with this because I was worried about how we're going to create a workforce for Tonn and Blank in the future when so many people were retiring. Where are they going to come from? If you follow Don Babcock, who is a great example in a positive way, we all know how Don is. And when you follow him and you find out that this economic growth depends highly, very highly in Northwest Indiana on the educational system throughout. And when I first started thinking that we have a problem just in construction, it didn't take long to realize that every industry represented in this room, every educational system, all has the same problem. And it's not just Northwest Indiana, it's the entire state and it's the entire country. And that is, we have a huge amount of retirees getting ready to retire, baby boomers like myself and many others that hopefully will keep going as consultants. But nonetheless, sooner or later we're going to wear down and we're not going to be available. Where are the new ones going to come from? We realize the population is going to be about half of what we came through as baby boomers, so you got that problem. The other problem with economic development on that side is we need to create an educated workforce, which we're doing through Purdue, Indiana University, Ivy Techs, the building trades, and many others. So that when the ArcelorMittals and the BPs and the Tonn and Blanks and anyone else that needs people, they have a place to get their people and they're trained. That's for the workforce that's leaving us. Now you want to bring more development to your area, which gives you a further need for more people, trained people in our schools and our system. As I went through this process, I realized that in almost all communities, and some very good communities besides ones that are not maybe as favorable, there's a 70% rate, graduation rate of kids that are not graduating from our schools. None of them have a career or a clear career path guidance from their counselors. Our Michigan City School Vocational School has 630-some kids. We got one counselor. So it's been a pretty uphill battle to try to get the system changed in order to adapt and get these kids trained on something that they really would like. I'm not here to tell you that I'm in disagreement with further education. I think further education is the most wonderful thing possible. But I think that education should come and support what it is the individual really wants to do in life. Sell cars, become a banker. You're both right on. You're right on with that. So that led me into a conversation with the Carpenters Apprenticeship Fund down in Indianapolis, which I serve on the board, been there for 40 years. And that is that we came up with an agreement, and this took a lot of work. It took the Secretary of Education for the state of Indiana, it took the governor, it took many people, which I'm not going to name them all here today, I don't have enough time. But anyway, these people put their heads together, and we initiated it right here in Northwest Indiana, an articulated program where a carpenter, a student can go through a vocational training center and get the right credentials as they go through junior and senior high school. They'll graduate with credits from high school. They'll also automatically be taken in the Carpenter Apprenticeship Training Program, which means they have a job and they have a future. But the more important part of all that is those kids and students that get into that program realize what it is at the end of the tunnel. It gives them a goal. It gives them something to do. Not this 70% that we can't graduate. We'll graduate these kids with honors. So I'm here to tell you that in the entire state of Indiana, all 50-some counties, however many counties we have, every counselor, every career center has that same opportunity in Northwest Indiana. We're using it at Porter with John Groth. We're using it in Michigan City at A.K. Smith Career Center. Our company, Tonn and Blank, we believe a lot in the apprenticeship program. That's where we get our nucleus of people from, certainly in the workforce. That's how we develop them. It is a great tool. So that is quite an accomplishment and took a lot of time to be able to pull that off. Wanted to give you just a little bit of history on Joe Coar. It's hard to, at 48 years, I started out as a cabinet maker in 1967 for Tonn and Blank. I worked in the mill shop. In them days, we didn't have a lot of power tools. A lot of stuff was still done by hand. I stayed in there for about 2.5, 3 years, and I made $3.36 an hour. That's what I started with. And at $3.36 an hour, I had money in my pocket, some going in the bank every Wednesday. We actually had savings out of that $3.36. Wasn't too far after that, I got about my third year. A guy by the name of Bill Mueller seen something in me that I didn't realize maybe I seen, but he did, and that was he wanted to take me outside and start getting me involved with work outside the wood mill. Well, I done that, and that went on for about 3.5, 4 years. Then I started what we refer to as pushing work, actually assistant superintendent. Went from superintendent to full-fledged superintendent, and then #1 superintendent. And during that time, I traveled outside the state of Indiana, did probably 6 or 7 jobs of what I refer to away from home. In them days, you went by yourself, and you had to build a relationship with people in order to build these buildings. You realized that you weren't going to build this $1 million or $2 million commercial project by yourself. You needed help. Well, how are you going to do that? In Michigan City, it's easy. You call up the guy at Tonn and Blank, he sends you a couple guys, and you go to work. But when you're out of town, you have to build those relationships. So I learned at a very young age those relationships is what exactly made Joe Coar successful. It's not me. It's the thousands of people that I had surround me through the years that made Joe Coar look good. If they made me look good, they made our company look good. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So I want to thank everybody for coming here today, all the past participants that got honors here today also, and in the past. Thank you very much, and thank the Times again. Thank you.